Sau đây chúng tôi xin gửi tới quý vị và các bạn toàn bộ bài chia sẻ của luật sư Nam tại sự kiện Law Asia lần thứ 38.
Now have Mr. Nam, I think he prefers to be called Tony, but Nam Nguyen Trung, Tony as he's called, he's talking about commercial mediation in Vietnam, opportunities and challenges, our host here, and he's a CIR accredited mediator, practices as a mediator in Vietnam Mediation Center, where he also serves as Deputy Director since 2020. He's also noted as a true expert in the field of arbitration, a forward-thinking and highly experienced practitioner. So, Tony, I think you have it all, arbitration and mediation. Maybe conciliation is left over. You want to think about that. So, Tony, for you, thank you.
Thank you. First of all, thank you very much for everyone who joined this session. I'm so excited to be here as a host, and I wish you all very beautiful days in Hanoi. In my 6 minutes, I would like to talk a little bit about the practice of mediation, commercial mediation in Vietnam. First and foremost, we need to distinguish in Vietnam between commercial mediation and general mediation. We have a court annexed mediation law in 2020, and that established the mechanism for compulsory mediation in all the court litigation proceedings. And it has been in practice for 5 years, and that is for all the civil and other disputes that goes to court. The other mediation that we call commercial mediation is actually established around 2017 under the Decree 22, 2017. It is a decree, but it set out the legal framework for commercial mediation in Vietnam. And anything that comes with dispute between a commercial party and another commercial party or non-commercial party will be subject of the commercial mediation. And there's still another type of mediation that we have been in practice for many years. That is mediation during arbitration, usually called ACMET Act. And this mediation has been rooted in the rules of, let's say, for example, the IAC, and also under Article 58 of the Commercial Law Arbitration Law in 2010. And since that article provides that during the hearing, the arbitrators, the tribunal, will have the opportunity to ask the parties if they are willing to do the mediation with the arbitrators sitting as the mediator. So this is a very typical, a very special type of mediation where you will see that the arbitrators can talk to the parties and be their mediator. It is not the same as the general mediation rules, where the mediators are not arbitrators. And in fact, a lot of people actually have problems with it. They believe that if you are arbitrator, you have the power over the parties, and that's why you should not be the mediator. And internally in the IAC, we also have some discussion on it, and that's why we have developed a specific ACMET Act protocol for that. So these three types of commercial mediations actually set out the current practice of mediation in Vietnam. And I'm only talking now about the commercial mediation separately from the arbitration and court litigation. Under the Decree 22, which has been in place for 8 years now, the commercial mediation can happen between two or more parties where at least one party is doing commercial, which means that as long as you are doing business and you are trying to create profit, you will be subject to commercial mediation. And the rules of the mediation centers set out the criteria of the mediators, and also they issue the ethical rules, the code of conduct for the mediators. There are two main commercial mediation centers now in Vietnam. One is the VMC, my own mediation center, where I'm the deputy director, and the other is VICMC, and they both were created in 2018. So apart from these two pioneering institutions, we also have I said around because there are new mediation centers coming in every now and then. So as per my collection, currently there are 17 mediation centers, 8 arbitration centers who also do mediation, and over 100 ad hoc mediators nationwide. And the average mediation cost for dispute worth 10 million US dollars is around 34,000 US dollars. So it's a lot cheaper than a standard arbitration case, just to explain. And for VMC, the Vietnam Mediation Center, since the inception of the organization, we have had 43 cases, and most of them are over 60% of them are domestic disputes. The other 40% is foreign-related disputes, and the majority of the cases are allocated to construction and commercial trade disputes. So these are the current practice of the mediation, commercial mediation in Vietnam. The successful rate of the mediation is a bit confusing to some, because commercial mediation under VMC, for example, is 91%, which is very high. We know that the general rate of successful mediation in the world is somewhere around 70 to 80%. So we are quite happy that our rate of successful mediation is higher than standard. But if you look at the court-annexed mediation, we will see that the successful rate is a lot less. From my latest research, it's around or less 60%, which is a bit lower than the global international mediation statistics. So what these figures say, there must be something that is not right about the different type of practice of mediation. And I had some discussion with colleagues and mediators, and I learned that it is more difficult for mediation in court to be successful because of the setting of these mediations. But on the other hand, because it's compulsory mediation, so everyone will have to go through mediation in court. That's why we call court-annexed mediation. For commercial mediation, they have to come and they have to be convinced that they will want to do mediation. So we try to develop the awareness of commercial mediation within the business community, but it's still a long process to go. So my last words is about the other issues that we see in Vietnam currently for commercial mediation. We don't have a specific rule or regulations for foreign mediation in Vietnam or cross-border settlement agreements in Vietnam. So it's like a loophole at the moment. And the second is, again, the same as India, we are not part of the Singapore Convention yet. In 2019, I attended the first Singapore Convention signature ceremony, and I was very impressed of some countries who actually were made aware of the convention only 2 weeks before the signing date, and they still committed to it. So I think for Vietnam, it's important that we keep trying to do research and to accelerate the process of accession to the Singapore Convention. And also, for me, I think Decree 22 has been 8 years in practice. It has to be developed further using the current practice to learn from the current practice and make it more higher authority in the form of a law, a commercial mediation law. So I hope that it will give some outlook for you. And finally, if you want to learn more about commercial mediation in Vietnam, go to ChatGPT 5.0.
The most popular part of the conversation, and that's yet another chapter that I'm sure we'll be discussing over Laotia, ChatGPT and its users, the authenticity, the verification, the process of credibility. But I'm afraid it's also here. You can't ignore it either. So it's just the safeguards that need to be put into place. Talk about regulation. So back to our subject. Thank you very much, Tony, and thank you for being such a great host as a Vietnamese lawyer on the panel. Next is Ila Sheel, advocate in record. She's at the Supreme Court of India and the founder of Clarity Law. That's a nice word. Practices extensive